What if building an online business was never really about building a website? What if the website was only one small piece of a much larger system? Today, we're going to look beneath the surface and understand what an online business actually is. When people hear the words online business, they often imagine a website, a homepage, a logo, a shopping cart, perhaps a payment button, and it can look like everything is already there. But a website is only the visible surface. Behind that surface may be a domain, hosting infrastructure, software, databases, payment systems, customer support, marketing, operations, and many other components. A website can exist without a business behind it, and understanding that difference is the first step toward understanding online business. So what actually makes something an online business? At its simplest, an online business uses digital technology to deliver value to a customer and creates a way to sustain that activity economically. The product might be physical, digital, or completely virtual. The customer might be an individual or another company. The technology might be simple or extremely sophisticated. But there is always a connection between a problem, a solution, a customer, and value. Technology enables the connection. It does not replace the reason for the connection. An online business is better understood as a collection of layers. At the foundation is the problem being solved. Then comes the product or service. Technology allows that product to be delivered. Infrastructure keeps the technology running. Payment systems allow transactions to happen. Marketing connects the business with potential customers. Operations keep everything functioning. And the economic model determines how the business can generate revenue and manage its costs. These layers do different jobs, but they have to work together. This is where modern technology becomes interesting. You do not necessarily have to create every component yourself. A domain can already exist. Hosting infrastructure already exists. Payment infrastructure already exists. APIs already exist. AI services already exist. Software building blocks already exist. These technologies can reduce the amount of work required to create something new, but they remain building blocks. The business still depends on how those components are selected, configured, connected, and applied to a real customer problem. Digital marketplaces are one example of this building block approach. Marketplaces such as Envato Market offer many types of digital products, including website themes, plugins, scripts, templates, and software components. For someone exploring an online business, these products can be useful resources to investigate. But there is an important distinction. Purchasing a digital product does not mean purchasing a finished business. It means acquiring a particular resource that may become one component of a larger solution. This distinction becomes especially important when dealing with source code. Source code can provide functionality. It can contain the foundation of an application and potentially save significant development time. But code does not automatically create demand. A software product can work perfectly and still have no customers. A website can look impressive and receive almost no traffic. An application can contain dozens of features and still fail to solve a problem people care enough to pay for. Technology can make something possible. It cannot decide whether people actually want it. There is also no single format for an online business. It could be an e-commerce store selling physical products. It could be a marketplace connecting buyers and sellers. It could be software sold through a subscription. It could be an education platform, a booking service, a digital agency, a membership business, or a specialized service powered by artificial intelligence. The technology and business model can vary dramatically. What connects them is the ability to use digital systems to create, deliver, and exchange value. This is one of the most interesting characteristics of the modern internet. You do not necessarily have to build everything from zero. Much of the infrastructure already exists. Instead of spending years recreating every technical component, a business can sometimes combine existing technologies and focus its effort on a specific market, customer problem, product, or service. That does not make entrepreneurship effortless. It simply changes where the effort is spent. The opportunity can shift from inventing every component to understanding how existing components can be assembled into something useful. But using existing technology does not eliminate the difficult parts of building a business. Someone still needs to understand the market. Someone needs to define the customer. Someone needs to decide what the product should do, how it should be priced, how people will discover it, and how the business will support those customers. There are also costs, competition, security concerns, technical limitations, and operational responsibilities. A tool can reduce certain tasks. It cannot remove the need for judgment, execution, and adaptation. That is why one of the most useful habits in online business is to start with the problem rather than the tool. It is easy to discover a piece of software and immediately imagine a business around it. But a better process begins with a question. What problem exists? Who experiences it? How are they dealing with it today? What makes the existing solution inconvenient, expensive, slow, or incomplete? Once the problem is understood, technology can be evaluated as a potential way to solve it. Once the problem is clear, more questions follow. Who is the customer? What exactly are you offering? Why would someone choose it? How will customers find it? What will it cost to deliver? How will payments work? What happens when something breaks? And if the idea succeeds, can the business grow without its costs growing at exactly the same rate? These questions move the conversation away from simply choosing software and toward designing an actual business. This is where the business model becomes important. A business needs more than customers. It needs a sustainable relationship between the value it creates and the resources required to deliver that value. Some businesses charge once. Others use subscriptions, commissions, transaction fees, advertising, memberships, licensing, or service fees. There is no universal model that works for every situation. The important thing is understanding how value moves through the business and how the economic model supports the system.
The most useful mental model is to stop thinking about an online business as one object. Think about it as an architecture. A customer problem connects to a solution. The solution connects to technology. Technology connects to infrastructure. The customer connects to distribution. Transactions connect to payments. Operations connect everything behind the scenes. And the business model connects the entire structure to economics. Once you start thinking this way, individual tools become easier to evaluate because you understand what role each one is supposed to play.
And this is where the idea becomes bigger than simply buying software or launching a website. The modern digital economy has already created an enormous collection of technologies, infrastructures, platforms, and services that can be combined in different ways. The opportunity is not necessarily to recreate everything that already exists. It can be to understand what exists, identify a meaningful problem, and design a business around the gap between the two. The possibilities are wide, but they still depend on research, execution, customers, economics, and the ability to create genuine value.
An online business is not simply a website, and it is not simply a piece of software. It is a system built around value. Technology is one part of that system, and existing digital products can sometimes become useful building blocks. But the real work begins with understanding the problem, the customer, the economics, and how all the pieces fit together. Once you understand the architecture, you can start looking at technology differently, not as a shortcut to guaranteed success, but as a set of building blocks that may help you build something of your own. This is NEXNET, Decoding Networks, Architecting Wealth. And this is Business Architecture. Understand, build, grow.